back again. Oh, no.
I'm very sorry. I forgot to watch the episode.
Told you, JP.
I'm very sorry.
Matt, I hate to do this in front of everyone, but I'm gonna have to let you go.
No,
I'm
please don't do that.
suspending you. I'm suspending you for a week.
Oh, all right.
No, I'm just playing. No episode 2. We were talking about that this morning. It just felt odd because I didn't make any question list. Because, which I still could have, I guess. But we didn't have an episode to base it on. And Matt said he woke up this morning and didn't have an episode to watch.
It felt very weird.
So we're just free-balling it.
Mm-hmm.
We're just free-balling it. There's no order.
Why change it up, right?
Yeah.
So, did you guys have a good weekend, first and foremost?
I did. I worked, but it was a good weekend. Anytime, making money.
I worked all weekend, too.
Did you?
Yep.
Aren't we the same person?
Yeah, we might as well be.
That's the scary part that you guys don't realize is Matt and JP are one person. He's just Matt, and JP is his alter ego, and he does these voices. It's really creepy.
Mm-hmm. We dress like half of my, I don't know, never mind.
It's why he can't really...
I'm not even going to try. The idea I had in my head to make that joke, my brain went like 20 seconds in the future. It was like, don't even try.
Is it going to be like a Two-Face kind of thing?
Yeah, like a mixture between Two-Face and Norman Bates. Like, that's what I was going for. Like, I imagined you with like a wig and a granny dress, and then I've got like a polo.
Oh, that's just his Saturday attire.
Speaking
I've
of
seen him
Saturday,
out there cutting the grass.
I heard you had a big house party this weekend.
I
like
did.
400 people. It's
I
amazing.
wish.
Like after prom party, man. What are you doing?
I wish. No, not quite that many. Yeah, we had a few people over. It was a good time.
Quality
It
over
was
quantity.
always fun to get people over.
There was a prom this weekend, though. One of my most darling cashiers came in all gowned up and dolled up, and I felt like a
Male or
proud
female?
papa.
Please don't. Please.
Just, it's a progressive. I don't want to assume anyone's gender. We'll get to that later.
No.
But good for her.
Michaela looks
Michaela.
stunning.
Okay.
If you say
so
darling
nice.
cat, I'm going to assume gender. Damn it! It better have been a woman. You can love who you want to love, and you can be who you want to be. But I don't want to hear you use the term darling unless you're talking about
It was as if she stepped out of the pages of Vogue magazine.
Oh, do they still make Vogue?
Of course they do.
How old is she?
Nice.
It's her senior year. I don't
So
know.
it's like
did
she
you-
stepped out of 17 magazine.
You didn't talk to her the way you're telling us about this, though, right?
I talked to her like a proud papa on prom night.
Okay. So I get it. When
drank
you
her
say
in.
darling and you're a proud papa, I kind of get it. But it's just the way your inflection, your tone.
Proud
just,
papa, pedophile. People take things differently.
So many
just
P
be-
sounds.
You can't be both? A proud pedophile papa?
Oh boy.
We're not touching that. Moving forward, all right.
That's the exact opposite of what a proud pedophile papa would say.
Oh,
Thank you. I'm
moving
sorry.
on to The Walking Dead. Wow, that was a good one. Moving on to the.
This is what happens when an episode doesn't air for a week. I don't know what to tell you.
So, Walking Dead season 7 is finally wrapped up.
Wow.
It's done, and
books.
we are heading to season 8. I'm gonna say it up front. As much as I defended this season,
go ahead, yeah.
I definitely feel like it was considered. I'm not gonna say what I think just yet, but I definitely think it was probably considered to be one of the most of the. I guess you'd say lackluster of the seasons.
Oh, okay. Yes, I agree.
People can defend it like myself. I've defended it every episode, more or less. But the fact of the matter is, you can't argue with numbers, and a lot of people are saying that this season bored them. You bring in someone as awesome as Jeffrey Dean Morgan as Negan, a great character, a
Shining
bad guy
spot
that you
of the
find
season.
yourself rooting for.
Did you call him Chinese Spock?
You okay? I said shining spot.
Oh.
He is the Chinese Spock of The Walking Dead. He's amazing.
Oh, gosh.
JP, sometimes I just want to cut your head open and see what's in there.
I didn't say it. Matt said
Oh,
it.
my
Chinese Spock.
No, he's the best part of the season.
But
in my opinion.
absolutely. And it's like, so you give us this great character and then you don't let us, it's like giving us this new toy and you don't you don't get to play with it.
Or you get like an hour every few days.
Right.
It's like, okay, give it back. That's it.
Thanks for the Nintendo Mom, but I don't want it if I can't play it but in
Just
half
saying,
hour
quit taking
every
my
day.
Game Gear away every month and only let me play with it 2 hours a week.
So, and I do think, but I get they're trying to tell a story again. I hope going forward they'll keep it, with the episodes where they had slow parts, but they combine that with, like kind of what was happening around. If they can do that next season, I think that they could really pick it up. Like if you've got a slow episode like Oceanside, man, throw in some like Negan, Rick stuff along with it. Don't make it all entirely based around a character who's not even, close to being a fan favorite. I mean, Tara's okay, but And I mean, sure, people will come out the woodwork when you say something, so now people will come out, oh, I love Tara. But, Tara's not typically a character people just come up and like, oh, I love Tara. I mean, if it was like Carl you had an old episode with, or even Daryl, even though some of his even some of his, even though I think the him and Beth episode was one of the slowest episodes I've ever seen.
Why do you think they do that? Why do you think they focus these episodes? It can't be just lazy script
filling
writing,
space, man. Again, like they have a 16 episode season. They've got an obligation to fill for 16 episodes in a season, and Game of Thrones I think has 10. So for them, they got it. The challenge is the opposite. Like, man, we've got to cram so much into 10 episodes, whereas The Walking Dead's like we've got just this kind of like somewhat decent sized story we've got to stretch out into 16 episodes.
Do they? Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, do you think it'd be worth it to sacrifice those 6 episodes just to get more story?
Oh,
that's
absolutely.
Exactly what
absolutely.
I was going to say.
Oh, yeah?
Exactly, 100%.
Absolutely,
Look at us.
I mean, I love Game of Thrones.
Look at us.
That was good. That was a good Joker impression.
Yeah.
That was good.
I really want to cut your head up.
No.
Out of context, that sounds really weird.
And so does everything JP
That
says.
is very true. Well, even in context,
it's
sounds
still
a little weird.
So I do. I absolutely. I think most people that weren't happy with the season would agree that yes, it would suck to be 6 episodes shy, but 10 episodes of quality Walking Dead beats 16 episodes of just mediocre.
Another thing then would also be putting it on a network that could do it justice. Like, I'm sorry, but AMC's just not going to do it justice.
So you don't think AMC does The Walking Dead justice?
Well, I don't. And I don't want to say something like it needs to be on HBO or some kind of, but it does need to be on a network that actually cares about the story and the characters.
I think it has less to do with the network and a lot more to do with the writers. Because when Frank Darabont and Glenn Mazzara were showrunners, I feel like it was an entirely different show.
But the network also tells them, okay, you can't do this.
Well, the network fired them for
Right?
creative differences, which was, I mean, like I said, Scott Gimple, my main problem with Scott Gimple is his writing's too predictable. Frank Darabont, each one of the first 6 episodes were like a different episode. It was like a different show, like a different little mini movie each one. I mean, it was something new and exciting in each episode. It was building, you were meeting people, and things were just moving. And then season 2, some people call the farm season boring. I really enjoyed season 2, especially with Sophia in the barn.
So
one
much,
of the
but so
greatest
much
twists.
went down, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's like,
2.
they were on a farm, and they ended up on that farm the whole season, mainly because they went over budget that season. And so they had to, But still, I like season 2. And then season 3, my God, that's where Glenn Mazzara really went full Game of Thrones. I mean, just killed off anyone at any point. And that's when I think Walking Dead fans, like, the show really hit its stride. People were like, man, this show ain't no joke. Anybody can die. And then you get to Scott Gimple taking over after Glenn Mazzara is let go after he kills Andrea. And you get writing that is just super predictable. Oh, man, this episode's really focusing on this side character by the end of the episode, and they're dead.
Yep.
Season finale's coming up. Who's going to die? I mean, it's... And I'm sure someone will argue against that, but I just feel like Scott Gimple's writing style is a lot more... And he's not the only one. I think Greg Nicotero's written an episode or 2, but I just feel like the writing is very predictable at this point.
And it was a nice little twist. I think it would... Okay, so with Negan being at the beginning of the season... Negan killing Abraham and then killing Glenn. That was a good twist. It would have been better if they wouldn't have spent so much time being like, oh, what's going to happen? During the summer, and then talking about it. And then media. Too many people were trying to figure it out, whereas just let it happen in the moment.
Oh,
you know?
No, I absolutely think it shouldn't have been a cliffhanger. I think that the finale should have ended with him killing Glenn and Abraham.
Oh,
and you would have been
absolutely.
like, oh, my God. And you would have been just as excited. I mean, look at how... Well, I count. You know what? We got some Game of Thrones people, so I'm not gonna. They killed off a main character at one of their season finales, and they didn't make you wait and guess. They killed him, and then you were just like, "Oh my God!"
You talking about the first season?
No,
Oh, okay.
no.
Because that was the first one that got me.
Oh yeah, well that's where they set the tone that anyone can die. But no, at the end of this season, this person dies, and then just as many people came back the next season to see what was going to happen because of this death. It's
Oh, I understand.
Oh, now I think I know what you're talking about.
I'm not going to say it out loud, but I'm holding it up.
Gotcha.
That
I thought
season.
I thought you were just like it was some kind of weird put down from another country. Like, you know how like a
You thought the 5 was me like throwing a FU?
Yeah, I thought that's what, because like if you,
From now on, if I throw up 5, that is a FU across the room.
George Bush Sr. got in trouble with that in Australia because when you do a peace sign, in Australia you do it with the palm of your hand facing out. If you do it backwards, it's pretty much like the middle finger.
Right.
So he got off the plane doing a backwards peace sign, but it was actually he was just basically like flipping everybody
Damn,
off.
gangsta dog.
Welcome from America, bitches. Yeah.
Doesn't it mean
mean-
like F you and your mom or something
Pretty.
like
Oh,
that?
show because there's 2 fingers.
Yeah, something like that.
Needs 2 fingers to F your mom.
JP, when we were talking about Game of Thrones, you looked like you wanted to say something.
I'm so
Did
sorry.
I?
Yeah, you were breathing in. I don't know if you were just like had a nasal passage.
Yeah, I was gonna say I am a little congested this morning. Gosh, it got cold quick for April.
It did. It
But
did. We were talking. Oh yeah, sorry. What were we
no,
talking about?
I was gonna say a lot of people died in this past season finale for Game of Thrones, but you were talking about another season
Yeah.
finale.
But no,
Yeah.
but
But it's always true. They're not afraid to kill off main characters. That much is for sure.
I mean, they're writing a story. They're telling you a story. And so if it calls for this character to die, then this character dies. It's not a, oh, they've got, I think there's only really one character that maybe, which then again, they're going by the books, but there's only one character that perhaps maybe has the Daryl fan power to keep them alive. But I don't think there's any reason for them to kill him. And I'm talking about Tyrion. I feel like Tyrion is the main one that would probably be, who would be more likely to get fan support to like not die. But then again, I think if they needed to kill him for the sake of the story, they would kill him. You know, I don't think that they wouldn't. I think they may think twice about it. Like, okay, now we need to kill him off, but should we at this point? But I mean, if it called for it, they'd do it. I mean, it's just good story writing.
right. So now, what separates now? I get it's the writers and everything, but why can't The Walking Dead be capable of that?
Because I feel like they've gotten to a level of success to where they're just kind of churning stuff out.
they're just coasting. If you guys could pick like one creative force to helm the next season, who would
The
it be?
guys that, what is it, DB Benioff? How do you say the writers?
Benioff or whatever his name is.
Weiss, whoever
Yeah.
does the Game of Thrones, it's 2 guys. Them. I mean, they write it like it's a movie. They write a story and they whatever, even if it hurts your feelings, they do what they have to tell the story.
Do you think-
Benioff and Weiss? Something
Yeah,
like
it's
that?
a Weiss, like
Something
Weiss or
that.
something. But do you think it could be because they have an end game for Game of Thrones? They know when it's going to end.
Right.
Okay, so we've got an end game in mind. We know what we want to get to. Let's write to that point. Whereas The Walking Dead, they're pretty much like, well, oh, we got another season? We got another 2 seasons? Sweet. All right,
Right.
so we'll do this.
I would always think ahead, like, hey, here's my goal, let's write to this. And then once you get to that, set another goal and write to that. Like Negan, you're trying to get to Negan. Okay, we need to write up to Negan. And then, focus on that almost as if it was your end game and then go from Negan to, okay, we got to get to... I don't know. Like I said, I mean, I'm not trashing Sky. I mean, I still love the show, but I mean, if you love something, you got to be able to at least admit
absolutely.
when it's
Be
got
critical
faults.
of it,
I mean,
yeah.
but or Frank Darabont. I know he would never do it because he's got so much beef with The Walking Dead. I'd be happy if they brought him back to write the next season, just because his writing was so much.
I'm pretty sure anytime you give enough money to someone,
They'll come back.
squash
Well, he's
it.
already suing them for like I think hundreds of millions of
suing
dollars.
them?
Oh yeah,
Okay,
Frank
I didn't know
Darabont's
that.
still. I'm pretty
Do
sure.
go
I have
on.
to check. It's been a while, but I'm pretty sure he's still in a lawsuit with them.
Wow.
If he wasn't, he was at one point. And he was suing for a lot.
If I could hand the show over to somebody, it would be Michael Hurst. He did the Spartacus series on Stars.
Oh, okay.
And that, I mean, it was a very similar kind of thing, like, uprising against tyranny, the oppressed, and they did it so well.
I would. Oh,
I'm
no,
pretty sure
okay.
Michael Hurst played Aeolus on Hercules.
The legendary.
Yeah,
journeys?
it was a lot of the same
Oh.
creative people. And
That
of
guy.
course, Lucy Lawless was on.
Oh, of course she
Spartacus.
was. Yes, she was.
I hope I'm not wrong about that because I was always like, Michael Hurst, Aeolus is
You can
putting
take
this
all
thing
your
together.
comments to JP at thepodcastingdead.com.
But boy, what a great show!
I'd like to see. Maybe this just comes from me enjoying his episodes on the Flash. But I like to
Don't
see
say Kevin Smith.
Oh,
No,
I'd love
man,
to see Kevin
really?
Smith direct the episode. I'd like to see a really funny out there episode of The Walking
Oh
Dead.
my God! I mean, I'm not.
That'd be
I would give it a
fun.
try, but when you started talking, I was gonna say if he says Kevin Smith, I'm gonna throw my shoe at him. But
No,
then
no, I was gonna say Smith Kevin.
I'm throwing up the new F.
Oh, is that what
the
that
new
is? 2 of them. Jeez.
No, I mean I like Kevin Smith, but I just could not see him. I mean, like he wrote a couple of Batman series, and they're hailed as like some of the worst Batman from what I've reviewed. Yeah,
Batman
Like the
comics?
cartoon?
Yeah, the
Oh,
comics.
yeah.
I enjoyed them, man. They were offbeat and wacky, and
That's
they
it.
were
That's what I
a
wanna
lot
see. I
of
wanna see
things
something
I've
different.
read, people just were not. I mean, I guess it's.
I'm sure I'll hear about this in the comments. About
Those people are just haters.
But
man.
hey, I do like Kevin Smith. Like I said, The Flash, each episode that he writes is always like it's funny, but then it almost makes you cry, and you're like,
Yeah.
holy hell. So I don't know. He knows how to
Makes
do
you feel.
I like Kevin Smith,
No,
but
I can't. Batman, Cacophony, and The Widening Gyre. I think I'm saying those words right. I don't know.
I haven't
even
read
tell
them.
you.
They were cool little Batman miniseries.
I haven't read them. I just know that everything I read online, people consider them to be like the worst.
Well, he's also. Did you see Tusk? Have you heard
Don't
about that? It's got Justin Long, and it's
Yeah,
like this
I've
guy's
seen
turned
that.
him into a walrus. Like it looks
I love
really
that
freaky
movie.
and weird. So I think Kevin Smith can do that too.
Is
Or
that
he directed it? Yeah, he
he's
wrote it and
doing
directed it.
That's coming out now.
It's been out for a couple years now.
Walrus.
Check it out. Tusk.
Tusk.
It's a really good movie. Red State's another one that, like,
Red
got a lot
State.
of hate.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Oh
But-
yeah, man. I forget about how much the View Askew universe.
Wouldn't you love to be able to like to just open windows and see it? Because with the
program?
fact that there's infinite parallel universes, somehow, some way, with infinite parallel universes, Kevin Smith is directing a season of The Walking Dead.
I wanna go there.
Somewhere, just to open up that window. Watch. I was the one critical. We'll watch it and be like, my God.
But their
This is the
McNuggets are made
best
out of
thing I've
horse,
seen,
so
right,
it's
yeah.
kind of it's
And in that universe, people are
trade-off.
complaining about the Flash because it's all drawn out.
Yeah, right. And then
boring.
JP is me, and I'm JP. Yeah, crazy,
Man.
crazy, infinite dimensions.
But no, man, those were some good Batman like comics, dude.
Say that now. The ignorant jib. What did you say?
The Widening Gyre and Cacophony.
And Chinese.
The
Fox.
ignorant jib. That sounds like an 1800s insult.
ignorant
shut
jib.
shut thy mouth, you ignorant jib.
But I mean, they just weren't set like within continuity, and people always get their panties in a bunch. Like, oh, why can't it be part of
Kind of like the what if issues. You know what I mean?
I mean, it was just a fun little romp, Like,
When did this happen?
It's
a while
been like
back,
5
right?
years
Yeah.
ago.
Oh, okay.
But like he goes up against Poison Ivy in one of the first issues, and she like releases THC through her plant powers, and he gets all ooh.
Oh, that's
Stone
funny.
Batman.
That's funny.
And like he's having a sex romp
Alfred,
with his lady interest
bring
on
me
this
some
tropical
chips.
island, and Aquaman just pops up, and he's like, well, we always assumed you were just gay, basically. Because he's so surprised to see him with this beautiful woman. And
Aquaman has room to talk, right?
That's really funny.
it was just a lot of fun.
That's
all.
so funny. Alfred. Yes, Master Bruce. Bring me chips
I can't find my feet, Alfred. Where are they?
and Oreos and milk
Bring me the Batwing
and my
chicken
Full
wings.
House collection. But yeah, I don't know.
Come
Back
over
to
Netflix and chill.
Back to The Walking Dead. I don't know, like this season, I mean, I get that they were building up to something, and I was okay with it, but the thing they have to realize is, you do have your super fans, such as
Yeah.
myself, that will defend it as bad as it gets. But once you lose a large, portion of your audience, which are people who just tune in because they're looking for some action and
And I love
You
the
know.
show, but I'm ready to shit on it at any given moment.
Right.
Just
Oh,
'cause,
we
you
know.
Real
we podcast with you once a week.
Said it that a
We
little too
podcast with
confident.
you once a week, every day for like the last year. We know.
Oh, dude, the 2 years. I was just thinking about it. We started this in season 6. So that's crazy.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I don't know. I expect more from it. I remember the feeling that I got from the first few episodes of the first season. And I haven't had that feeling since.
That's why I say, man, I really wish they'd go back to that writing style of just like, I mean, because I don't know why I don't know. You've got so many characters on screen, man. Kill some and it isn't all about death, but just give us some oh crap moments more. I mean, and then Negan, if you would have just put Negan in there more, I feel like it would have been a better season.
See, I feel like it is about death. A show called The Walking Dead.
Oh, no, I mean, it
should
is, but you don't have
definitely-
to kill off a character for it to be good. I mean, that's
right,
not the
right.
only thing that makes an episode good. I mean, there's been plenty of episodes that left off without anyone dying, and you were like, holy crap.
Okay.
You know what I mean? We just don't get that anymore. Like episode 1 of The Walking Dead, other than like the zombies, I mean, you don't see anybody die, but by the end, other than obviously the zombies, but by the end of it, you just were like super excited for the next
That
one.
is
He's
true.
stuck in the tank. How's he going to get out of this? Who's this guy on the CB, which was
Glenn.
too soon.
Dumbass.
It almost makes you wonder, like, how much influence Robert Kirkman still has over things.
You had said a while back you thought he had kind of been snipped on this in the sense
I
that
mean,
it
it seems
definitely
like it to
seems
me.
like he's kind of taken a back seat and just been like, all right, you've made it the most successful show on
yeah.
cable television. Just go ahead and do your thing.
Sit
I'm gonna
over
get
here and
back.
count my
that.
money, and you guys just have at it.
He has people that count his money for
The
him.
comics are still really good. Like they hadn't fallen off.
Yeah.
Is there an end
in?
in sight for that?
No, not really.
I have heard though he's written the last issue.
Really?
But I was also like in the letters comments on the last issue, he said a lot of times they just change things as they go along.
Yeah. I mean, it's no. I mean, I really don't know how. I mean, I'm sure they probably have an end game, but as far as like the way it seems, I mean, stuff is still developing. I mean, you've got some great character development going on. You've got a possible death coming up in the next issue. So, I mean, it's definitely still new twists and turns. It never gets dull.
And I know you had told me before that they planned on killing Negan early on, but in the letters column, they said issue 108, he first appeared in issue 100. They were only going to give him 8 issues.
Oh, wow.
And they were going to kill him. That's
they
insane
were
to me.
going to bring him in, let him be the kind of baddie for a little bit, and then kill him. But then people liked Negan so much that and Robert Kirkman did too. From what I had read, he said he enjoyed writing him so much. He was like, let's just keep this going and see what we can do. And now you've got. I mean, it's crazy how that works out. You write a character to be a temporary baddie to get you basically like a bridge from one point to another. And then you write him so good that he ends up becoming a fan favorite. I mean, now here we are, all these
heavily
down
involved
the road,
in the story. Yeah,
Negan is slowly becoming one of the, someone you're rooting for. I know I am.
And I know we're also talking about, since the next issue is going to be so big, all of us reading it that morning and doing a little podcast.
Why is the next
recap.
issue going to be so big?
They just said at the end of the letters column, like, the next one's going to be big.
Yep.
So
They mean like thick, like a lot of pages? Or
That would be nice.
Is it like a giant coloring book kind of thing? Or?
They do have that at the comic shop, a Walking Dead coloring book.
And a red crayon, because that's pretty much all you need. And a little bit of gray for the face and hands.
But yeah, we were talking about, so we might do, if you read the comic, be tuned in next week. We might do a little mini cast on that issue after we read it.
That's
Does
exciting.
it come out next week?
No, it does not. Sorry, next month.
Yeah, next month.
Damn it.
I was going to say, that'd be beautiful.
That would be
though.
amazing.
Yeah.
Which they did like last month or the month before, throughout like 2 or 3 issues in that
Every now and then they'll
month.
treat us.
They had they re-released the first issue.
Yeah, when like $1 or 25
Yeah,
cents.
it was $1. Their big issue a while back was 25 cents. But yeah, I love stuff like that, man. So
I love it. I
I've
love
got that.
yeah.
I know it's not going to be near. It's not worth what the original will be, but it looks cool in the man cave. The first issue. I actually really like that artwork. It was kind of wackier, I would say, more cartoonish.
It felt more blocky, I guess.
Back in the day, yeah. Whereas the new one, which I like the new artwork, but it just is, I don't know, something unique about the original.
It just felt sharper.
Yeah.
I think that is kind of cool, though. It's sort of more like innocent, and then as the series progressed,
It
just
got grittier.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a good way to look at
Kind
it.
of turned as the world turned.
Yeah.
Oh.
I wonder how much money and time they save from not having to color those in. You know what I mean? I like it in the black and white. I really do. And I wonder, a lot of comics have all this color, and that probably takes a lot more time, effort, and money. I wonder how much they save in time and money by not having to put color.
I had heard that that's why they originally did that. They just didn't have the money for the color. I don't know if that's correct or not, but I've heard these.
It would make sense. And then, it actually works really well with the style of the comic to have everything kind of George Romero, black and white, zombie. It actually worked out lovely. And then you get some nice color covers.
I mean,
But,
Robert Kirkman, he's just such an awesome dude. He was like working in a factory. He didn't go to college. He was just a guy who loved writing comics, and he would find people to collaborate with, and eventually, he became what he is.
And now he's sitting on a nice little chunk of
Yeah.
change.
Yeah,
Did you say
man.
he owns Image Comics, or does
he's an
the
owner.
top dog of it. Yeah,
he's
I know that
one of
much.
the owners,
And
bought into it?
They are picking up a lot.
Oh, they're
man.
doing a lot of good stuff. Yeah.
Well, a few years ago, and this is before DC Rebirth happened, he said that within the next 5 years, they would be the number 2, right under Marvel comic publisher. Now that DC Rebirth's happened, I don't know if that's necessarily
Right.
going to
But
happen.
there's
Good
still
stuff
to be a
coming out of
contender
DC.
with DC.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Marvel, that's amazing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, like I
I
said,
don't hear
he's
many people talk about Dark Horse anymore.
No.
No, I think they. Like I said, I only read 3 or 4 titles from Image, but every single one of them are among my favorite of the
they
comics
put out
that I
a lot
read.
of
you
good
know
I
what
love
mean?
Invincible. Man. I love it so much.
I love Moonshine is amazing. The
You've been
Walking
telling me
Dead,
about that. I
of
need
course.
to pick
Oh, it's
that up.
great. Moonshine is great. JP told me about it, and then I grabbed the first issue of it. He was telling me about it, I was not interested whatsoever. He's like, oh, it's a werewolf, and it's like early 1900s moonshine running and
it's during
bootlegging.
Prohibition.
And I'm like, but then I flipped through a few pages, and it actually is awesome. It's awesome.
Brian Azzarello, I think that's how you say his name. He's done a lot of good stuff. 100 Bullets, that was a big thing he did a few years
Sounds
back.
familiar.
Yeah, so Image has got some really good
He's
stuff.
done some really cool stuff on Batman.
But back to the show for those that don't read the comics that are listening this season. So let's go back through and see some of our major developments. We lost, it's hard
We
to. It
lost
feels
a
like
few
we lost
people.
Glenn last season.
Yeah.
Because of the fact that it was so, we watched it in the fall and then it just came back on in the spring. But we lost Glenn, Abraham, we lost Spencer. We
Sasha.
technically lost
Eugene?
Heath, we don't know where he is. He's
Yeah,
not
what's
dead,
going on
but
with that?
we've lost him. Nobody knows. He's filming 24 Legacy.
I know that, but how have they not explained anything on the show? Like we're just, I completely forgot about it.
Oh yeah, he's gone. I thought we were going to run into him in the second half, but
At least something.
so we've lost. I'm trying to think of the total, like the big death. Sasha, Abraham. We've lost Glenn. Let's see, Spencer. Who else have we lost? That's 4.
I feel like we've lost Eugene.
We lost the pervert, Rapey Davy.
Oh, Rapey Davy. Yeah.
We lost
Fat Joey.
Fat Joey. We also lost Benjamin.
The doctor.
We lost the doctor. Who else? Anyone else you can think of?
I think that's it.
So we've lost
Is
8
Judith
people.
dead yet?
We've lost 8 people, of which I would say 3 were main characters, talking about Abraham, Glenn, and Sasha, and then you had one kind of major character. Spencer was kind of like he wasn't really a big character, but
He's been there for a
little
while,
while. Benjamin, we only had for a few episodes. Typical, again, I'm not downing Scott Gimple or whoever writes these, but just predictable story writing. How did we not basically from the first time we saw Benjamin go, oh, yeah, he's going to die and that's what's going to bring.
Right.
Like when your writing is that
yeah.
predictable that you can see a kid and go, oh, yeah, he's dead. Like, that's my main beef with it. Like, it would have been more of a surprise to me if Benjamin would have lived. Oh, and we also lost
Say Richard and Benjamin?
Richard.
Yeah. And the chick that got shot in the head he was like, just kill somebody else.
Oh, yeah, we lost Olivia.
There we go.
Damn. But, so, I mean, looking at it, a lot of people died, but again, it just was not impactful, though. We're having to think. Like, the main impactful ones was Glenn and Abraham and Sasha. Like, as soon as you think deaths, you think those 3.
Right.
But
I would like to have seen, what was the kid? What was the kid's name?
Benjamin.
I would like to have seen, Benjamin needed to die to set Morgan on a path.
Right.
But I don't think he should have killed Richard. I think they should have stretched that out with Richard's guilt.
Oh, yeah.
They could have done that over an episode or 2, and then him go out as a hero.
I definitely think that Morgan should not have killed Richard. I think that was. I get why. But
when I first met him, I didn't like his character too much.
Richard?
Richard. I was a fan of him. But then as he was in episodes, I was like, okay, I get where he's going. I'm starting to like his character, and then he just undoes everything in one episode.
Well, I mean, and that's just I just feel like that's. I don't know. I just feel like that's not a good testament to the writing. I feel like it should. You have I don't know. Like Richard was the one that wised up. Ezekiel was trying to live in this fantasy world and pretend that everything was okay. Meanwhile, you had these bullies that Richard knew at some point what they were giving him wasn't going to be good enough, and it was going to lead to something way, way worse. And I mean, the dude was right. I mean, his methods I don't agree with, but I mean, he was right. He knew that they needed to go to war, but I mean,
Benjamin needed to die.
But the thing is, you could defend it and be like, well, he shouldn't, and maybe he shouldn't have been willing to sacrifice Carol or whatever, but it's one of those, he's looking at the greater good, man. He knows that he's told Ezekiel this. He's been saying we need to fight. No one will listen. So he knew that it would take some kind of action to force everyone in. But like I said, Benjamin, man, it would have been a greater twist, being we thought Benjamin was to die, to leave him living, and maybe Richard randomly gets killed. And you're like, the funny sidekick of Ezekiel dies. And that's what, just something that throws you completely off guard. And that's what sends Morgan back. So, I mean, we said that the second he was told to train Benjamin. We were like, oh, this kid's going to die, and that's going to set Morgan back into motion. And it did. But yeah, I don't know.
But then that like by that concept, he becomes another Negan, doing something for the greater good because you think it's right.
Oh yeah, just not on the scale that Negan's doing.
Right.
I mean, he wasn't.
And I think that's been a big overarching thing, like a little subtle story in it is just like what makes a person become Negan. Like how far do you get into doing what you have to do to survive until you just become another Negan?
Well, and it's people like Rick. I mean, because people are comparing Rick to Negan, and in a way, I guess he is. However, you look though. People will argue it, and that's fine. Everyone's got their opinions. But Rick is ruthless. Rick can be like Negan in a way, but Rick does not go out after people unless you provoke him. Like with Negan, Negan. I don't think. Again, I'm not. I'm probably the one to defend this show the most. So, but the writing is just so kind of blah to me that they don't have the ability to write Negan and Rick as the kind of characters who you really say which one's good, which one's evil. Like to me, it's clear. Like Rick and his group mind their own business. They're out on a run. Here come Negan's boys shooting at Abraham, shooting at Sasha, shooting at Daryl. All of this, and then they also are, the hilltop. The way they introduce themselves to you is to bash someone's head in. That's how they say hello. Rick doesn't do that. If you leave Rick alone and his group, all they want to do is survive. That's it. They see you on a supply run. They're like bees. They can screw you up, but if you leave them alone, they will do their own thing. So ultimately, Negan is more of a baddie than Rick. But if you read the comics, and I think they're going to get to that on the show, in Negan's mind, that's what he's thinking is going to save everybody.
Right, yeah.
Kind of like Richard willing to sacrifice Carol. He thinks that even if he has to beat somebody's brains in and make a point, that it'll make everyone fall in line and that he will keep them safe and be their savior. But, So I don't know. Like I said, a lot of people draw parallels, and there are some parallels to Rick and Negan. But ultimately, I think if it's on a who's more of a baddie, I think it would be Negan. Rick doesn't have pictures of the people they've killed, which Negan doesn't have.
We don't know
either,
that. He could have this wallet full of just pictures.
And this was that cop that I shot that time that ran from us. I ran over him with the car.
I beat this guy's head in with a lead pipe.
Daryl's like, this is Fat Joey. Was Fat Joey. But I don't know. I'm very excited for season 8. I still love the show. I just really wish they would get back to being the show everyone was talking about positively. You know what I mean?
Well, season 8, man, hopefully.
It's called All Out War. So, damn it better be some again, you don't have to always be killing people and have gunfights, but just something that's, like, oh my God. Even not even insulting Scott Gimple. I can go back to like season 4. The prison fight is whoever, I don't know if Scott Gimple wrote that or not, but that was after Glenn Mazzara. That was one of my favorite scenes in the entire show, was the Governor Rick standoff. I just remember how tense it was, how good the acting was, how sad it was. It was an episode like I was cussing at the TV with Herschel's death, and
same thing.
Like,
with
I'm
the
never going to watch it
Merle
again.
Died.
Oh yeah,
that's another one that got me, man.
Great
that was
episodes.
A gripping episode.
I just want to go back to having those moments, and we did. At the first episode of this season was amazing. Like, it did not disappoint. It sucks it was a cliffhanger, but when it came back, it hit you right in the damn heart. That's
another reason they shouldn't have left it on a cliffhanger. They should have killed. Either one or both of them. They should have killed somebody at the end of season 6.
Right.
So that way, because at the start of season 7, it started so full throttle. There's nowhere to go. Once you're up at the top, like they literally were running 100% for the first episode of season 7. There's nowhere to go but down from there. Right. So that was their first mess up.
You know what they could have done that would have been really, really cool was have him kill Abraham at the end of the episode. And you're like, oh, man, it was Abraham.
Right.
And then have Daryl do his thing. And once it does, zoom in close on Negan to where you only see him from like the waist up. You cannot see the people on their knees around him. And have him in his whole, I gave you one, yada, yada, yada. I need you to know me. And then end the episode with him turning around and swinging at a second person.
Right.
You'd be like, so you got a taste of it. And now that way you got a cliffhanger, but there was some delivery. You got that death, like who is he going to kill?
Not that cheesy blood running down the screen crap. That was the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
That was like an old PlayStation 1 video game.
Oh my God. Like literally like you died.
Dying Gold.
Was waiting for the words to pop up. You have died.
That was good.
Hear somebody yelling in the background, Snake.
Oh, nice. Oh, wow.
But I just feel like that would have been a cool way to do it. And then you would have spent the whole summer like, okay, he killed Abraham, but who? Like, you got the death, you got your bloodlust taken care of, but now, holy crap, who's the other person?
Right. And even then, I think people would have been like, it's probably Glenn. You would have had people.
You
no,
it's
figured
Maggie. It was Glenn,
but
it still would have been a cool way to be like, have something, because they just wanted you to talk about the show in the off
right.
season.
And I think that was a dumb way there's got to be somebody.
It was unnecessary for a show of
bad.
this magnitude. You know what I mean? It'd be different if you were like a subpar show trying to build a name for yourself, and you wanted people talking about it. You're the Walking Dead, man.
Yeah.
Next season you could have killed off both of them in the finale. Come back next season, like just ended it right there with Glenn's body, twitching and shit, being pretty much one of the last things you see, and everyone would have been just as anxious for the opening.
I think it would have been even better if they killed Glenn, and then Daryl punched him, and then he was like, all right, well, I got to continue this, and then kill Abraham at the beginning of season 7. That way everybody was like, oh, he did kill Glenn, but who else did he kill?
Right.
So.
Yep. Yep. So I don't know. Like I said, they started off so high octane with the first episode. It was tense. It introduced you to who is going to be probably the most memorable villain. Because the Whisperers in the comics were okay, but they don't hold a match to a candlestick in terms of Negan's, like, just remembering Negan. Like, Negan is always just going to be one of the biggest of the baddies. And I've actually, too, going back a bit, I've seen some comments, and I'm happy because when we did the Negan versus Governor video, I had said that I really thought that there were ways that the Governor could beat Negan. Like the Governor, I think he would hand-to-hand beat the hell out of Negan, because that's one difference in the comic and the show. We've not seen Negan be physically imposing. He's only imposing because he's got 50 men around you, and if you move, they're going to kill you. There's nothing Negan's not kicked anyone's ass or shown why he's an alpha male other than he's a smooth talker and people find him funny. But, I've seen a lot of people commenting on that video now starting to pull for the governor. It's really switched around. Yeah. You go back on that video, it was originally all, Negan's got the numbers and Negan. Because then someone, of course, got kind of crabby and was like, why are we even talking about this? We know it'll never happen. No, that's the whole point of a what if video. It's like we know it wouldn't happen, but what if it did? It's fun to explore those options. But a lot of people coming back saying they think maybe the governor would do it. I've seen people saying they think he's a better fighter. They think he's smarter than Negan. All Negan has is the numbers. And if the governor had a chance to strategize and wasn't completely taken by surprise, that because the governor didn't have ruthless thugs either. That's the problem. If the governor would have had like an army, I love the governor, man. I love that character. I thought in the show, I like the governor in the show better than I like the governor in the comic, actually. The governor in the comic,
characters.
Yeah, they did them very different. Because when they first casted the governor, I was like, man, that looks nothing like the comics. It's like in the comics, you got this like anorexic looking Danny Trejo dude. And then in the show, you've got this big, suave, Southern gentleman-looking Brit. Yeah. And then it actually really worked out. Like, I really love the Governor saga is some of my favorite.
So in the show, the governor would, like, seduce you like he did with Andrea. In the comic, the governor would basically just rape you like he did with Michonne.
Yeah.
So.
Wow.
I remember when they had the whole Maggie and Glenn captured. Oh. That was the thing where people like, is Maggie going to take Michonne's place? And they, but it was one of those things like you couldn't do that on AMC. I mean, like an episode of just the governor in the next room raping Maggie while Glenn sits there and listens. It wouldn't go over very well.
See, but oh man, that's something they would do on Game of Thrones.
Oh, Game of Thrones wouldn't think twice about it. They'd be like, all right, so where are we at in the comics? Okay, so it was normally Michonne. Hey, Lauren, you're getting raped this episode.
I was going to do a country accent, but I forgot Lauren is British.
Right.
Maggie's and yeah.
And she's actually like her mom, but she's actually was like raised in America.
Oh.
Which rape's never funny. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying. We're talking about.
She was
fake
raised in
rape
America. In England, it's not that funny. In America, you can get away with it.
But no. So but I still that whole the whole governor saga, man. I love remember one of the most disappointing season finales I've ever had though was around the governor. It was the end of season 3 where they go to raid the prison and you think, oh man, this is going to be that big monumental moment from the comics where so many main characters are taken out and here it comes, and then it just was like nothing. They went in, they scared them away with bright lights and flash grenades. They're sitting there shooting at them to scare them. We had a perfect chance to mow them all down, which I guess that shows who the group were then. Like now they would have killed them and not thought twice. Back then they were more or less just trying to scare them away so they would leave them alone. Right. And then the governor mows his own people down, and that kind of ended the episode. And I'm like, that's the finale? Like I wanted, and then the season 4 mid-season finale was basically made up for it. Way over, because that season 4 mid-season finale still is one of my favorites. But I just missed like that kind of Walking Dead. You know what I mean? But I don't know. And then again, once you have something go for so long, it's really hard to go this many seasons too and keep it as fresh. And that's another thing I think people don't think about is it's just longevity.
Yeah, but they've got the source material.
That's what I'm saying. They've got a comic book to go off
But then you got your people that complain. Like they'll follow the comics too closely. And then you got your people going, well, this sucks because I know everything's going to happen. It's got to be hard to write this show,
absolutely.
though. Because you're going, okay, well, let's stick to the comics for this part because the comic fans will love it. But then some of your comic fans do. Some of your comic fans are like, well, this sucks because I know everything that's going to happen. But then you stray away and do your own creative writing. This wasn't anything like the comics. I just don't even understand why they'd go this route. You know what I mean? So it probably is really hard to write something based off of a comic that's that successful.
That's true.
But I don't know. This season, I think it was okay. I know we hadn't really talked about this season that much, but that's the thing. It's like we're going back talking about old seasons because it was just a little more interesting.
That's a testament to what this season was about.
I mean, I thought season 6 was great. You remember season 6, I had said I thought that was one of the best seasons, if not the best they had. I mean, you get introduced to Negan. You start learning about Negan in the mid-season finale. You have that whole where Alexandria gets raided and you lost Jess and her kids.
Yep.
I really don't feel like we were complaining in season 6 about it getting
Carl
stale.
lost his eye.
Oh, man, yeah. Like, I really feel like if I went back and listened to our season 6 podcast, I wouldn't hear us complaining about it getting stale. Like, we might have had some issues, as you do with any show, but being boring wasn't one of them. It was things happening every other episode. You know, you had Alexandria and then you had that awesome scene which has become one of my favorites, where they were slicing through the zombies and you just saw like the black screen behind them. It was Rick, it was Michonne, it was like, that was awesome. Like and then you get to this season, and it's just kind of like,
yeah.
It's like season 6 was the hill, and season 7 is like the flat ground. You're just kind of coasting across.
But they said that season 7 is going to blow your mind.
They've already said that about season 8. Scott Gimple said on The Talking Dead that the first 4 episodes are going to melt your mind and break your TV.
Oh my gosh.
Number one, I don't want. I
It's really
need
good
my
at
TV.
hyperbole. Oh wow.
But so that's what they say. I mean, I'm sure they'll probably, and I hope they've learned their lesson though. I hope they can't keep going. Well, we're The Walking Dead. We don't really care if people think we're boring because we're The Walking Dead. I mean, that show can tank real quick.
Yeah.
You can go from being number 1 to.
I kind of want them to kill Daryl just to see how many people.
I do
actually
want them to
riot.
kill Daryl.
I don't believe people's going to riot. I don't believe it.
Like Glenn. I mean, I think his story is just done. I mean, and I'm not saying I hate Daryl. I like Daryl, but I'm just not excited when Daryl's on. Like Rick. I'm still, whenever there's a Rick-based episode, I still like Rick.
Yeah.
Whenever Rick's in charge, I'm like, oh, Rick's the man. When Daryl comes up, I'm like, there's Daryl again. No, he's got a crossbow. No, he's
Hey,
emo Daryl.
Rick! Oh, hey, Daryl.
But I mean, you got your Daryl fans out there who just do not like to hear anything else. But I'm just not excited over Daryl. I mean, I was in the first couple of seasons, and I really feel like you could have killed him off like in the prison raid or something, and that would have been you've made his transition. He went from redneck that no one likes to team player who died saving someone. Like maybe he died saving
Merle. I would have liked
right,
to see
yeah.
that. Let Merle take his place. You know?
See, that would have been cool. We've
mean-
had Daryl for with 4 seasons. 3 seasons. That was season 3. Yeah, let Merle.
And that's like Merle's inspiration to stay good, is his brother died saving his life.
We so should have written this show.
Granted, Merle's
still
not nearly
time.
as sexy, but
Right.
even
Well,
still.
I think beauty is the eye of the beholder.
I'm sure somewhere out there, some girls.
I don't think his arms
just
are as nice,
fantasizing
probably.
over
Oh,
Merle.
yeah.
So you'd
absolutely.
rather have sex with Merle over Daryl?
Do I have to pick between the two?
Well, absolutely.
So, like, I'm being held at knife point. Somebody's like, you have to have sex with one of these men.
What kind of who are you being held at knife point
The
by?
zombie apocalypse is a crazy
Is
time.
this Rick?
Man.
I like to watch.
Yes. Oh, no. He made me hold it.
Clearly, I'm the one with the gun to your head.
Oh,
I just want to
Jesus.
watch. That's all.
But hey, this
I
is
need
like some
more than-
Dungeons and
yeah,
Dragons
like,
type
shit, I
thing.
need to roll
Suddenly, I
20
pop up with a gun to
That's so
JP's
funny.
head. And I'm like, put the gun down. Matt will not have to unless he wants to. He will not be forced to have sex with either of these men.
Well, if you put it
Unless
like
you
that.
really want
I
to,
gotta roll
Matt.
a
If
20
you do,
on that
then
one.
you know.
Whew.
So
Is this before Merle gets his metal hand or after?
I'm going to say after.
Oh, then Merle
Yeah.
all the way.
You guys, all those
I don't even want to know what could be done
All
with
those
that.
attachments, man.
Yeah.
All
French
right.
tickler.
But that is a really good. That's kind of like how I had said with the Maggie and Glenn thing. I thought it would have been cool. I know it's a huge change. Some comic fans would have just not have been having it. But to have killed Maggie and explored how that would have affected Glenn, made him, because Maggie has obviously kind of become her own independent woman, whereas Glenn might have taken it differently. It just would have been cool,
I think he could have become an independent woman too.
But hey, it's 2017.
You
Don't
know,
assume.
that almost makes me feel like we should do an F, Marry, Kill, just an episode all about that. Just F, Marry, Kill, Walking Dead.
Oh, okay. You're okay. F as in the F
Yeah.
word. I got it. I'm sorry because we try to stay PG-13 on the show here.
Right.
But I get it. Okay, I was like F, Marry, Kill. I thought that was like F. Scott Fitzgerald, who was an artist, like a F, Marry, Kill. Who is she? I don't know. What'd she write?
Did she right?
Pride and Prejudice and Zombies. I don't know.
But yeah, I would have loved that. This is really, I've never thought of that. That would have been really cool to see Daryl die saving Merle. Like maybe you think, okay, Merle's about to sacrifice himself, but then here comes Daryl last minute, gets their attention, dies, but saves Merle, and then Merle maybe totes him back to the group, and of course Rick has his bro moment with dead Daryl. They bury him, and then Merle basically, that's really cool.
Oh, I ain't a racist anymore.
His death has changed my views on race. Merle, you're reading. You wrote that on. No, I knew you would say that. It's a big metal thing. You write stuff on
That's
it.
a little post-it note attached to it.
He's got like "FU" written on the nub, so when they're like, "No, Merle," he just points it at him. Merle out.
Was it his left hand or his right hand?
It was his right hand.
Okay.
But yeah, so I don't know. I think that all the people saying like, Rick's going to lose his hand, I really feel like Merle kind of took that for Rick. Like that was
Yeah.
Rick's. But no, I mean, I don't know. This season, so I mean, let's see. Let's look back because we've gotten really far into it and we really hadn't talked about season 7 much.
What is there to talk about?
Great. Let's. We've been so negative. Let's talk about some positive things. We've been introduced to Ezekiel. Mm-hmm. I love Ezekiel. My favorite episode of this
Shiva
season.
And Ezekiel.
My favorite episode of this season was the finale by far. Either the premiere or the finale. Either or was amazing.
I'll agree with you on the finale. We've got some characters that are coming back to their old selves, like Morgan and Carol.
Right.
Like they've went through a lot this past season.
Ezekiel's awesome. What's his sidekick's name? Jerry? No, not. Is it Jerry?
Yeah.
Hey,
the Hawaiian guy?
Yeah. We've got Big Jerry. I hope he gets to be a bad. We got Jesus. We were introduced to him at the end of season 6, but that's another. I don't want to go back to negative, but man, they've got to step him up. In the comics, he's such a badass, and then like even now, he's such a big part of the group. Like I mean, in this one, he just kind of looks like someone who wants to style his hair with Maggie. You know what I mean? Like, let's just share some gossip. And look, I kick zombies. You know, like I want to see him kicking some ass.
And
man.
the whole time he's saying that, Maggie's just looking at him like, "What is wrong with you?
I don't get you.
Let's go shoot some things." I like what they're doing with Eugene. I hope that he's
I do
evil,
like,
but I like the story.
I like that they
through.
got us guessing about Eugene. Yes, absolutely.
And still, we don't know. We still don't know.
We don't know. I mean, he's a coward, so it's very well he wants to step up and do something, but he just doesn't have it in him yet. Something's going to have to. Maybe Sasha's death.
Yeah, I mean, he kind of had that discourse with Sasha. It was like, I wish I could step up. And she was
he
like,
told her
you
before
can.
she got in the thing. Yeah, he was like, I wish.
Like that.
When she was getting on the truck, getting ready to leave or whatever, he was like, I wish I could, be strong like you or something. And she's like, you still can.
I bet you say that to all the girls.
I bet you say that to all the suicidal girls you give pills to. But no, I mean, like, so I do like that. That is some positive because that's got us guessing. I mean, we don't know because in the comic it didn't go this way. So we're like, is Eugene really Team Negan now? He seems like it. And Rick was willing to sacrifice his ass.
Yeah.
I
Wow.
mean, unless I was looking at the scene wrong, it absolutely looked like Rick was.
He was going to blow him up.
He was ready to do what he had to do. Eugene's had a chance to escape.
It reminds me of when he was contemplating should he deliver Michonne to the governor or not.
Right. More parallels. We've definitely we've drawn parallels to some of the older seasons, and this one and that one is. I haven't thought about that. It's a really good way to look at it. Like I said, I really like Ezekiel, man. I think he's freaking awesome. The guy that plays him, too, like behind the scenes, seems like such a funny, cool guy. Aaron has stepped up. I really have said. I said when he was on there, when everyone was like, "If they kill Aaron, it's just not important enough." And I'm like, I agree as far as his role in the group, but I like Aaron. Like I really like his character. So I really hope it's not Aaron that got killed by Negan. And it seems he's stepping up this season, kind of becoming one of Rick's inner circle. So I'm liking that. So some good things that have come out of it. It just was a very slow process to get them.
We've got to meet Jadis and the garbage people.
Screw female David Bowie.
Oh, that's funny. That's really good.
She will not get to lay with Rick on this day.
What about
that's what Ezekiel yelled when he came over the wall. You will not relate with Rick this day.
who's the guy? What's his name in charge of the hilltop?
Gregory,
there we go.
We don't know where he's going yet.
Right.
I mean, I assume it was to the sanctuary or, to meet Simon to rattle, which I don't know. Like I said, a lot of people had good points. I don't think he would be going to tell them necessarily everything going on because then, hey, why were you lying about Maggie being
right?
here? So
and that's pretty much a suicide mission.
Yeah, so it's like, where is he going exactly? I still think it's a sanctuary, but I think he's just trying to he knows they're getting ready to go to war and he doesn't want to be a part of it. Like he wants to tell Negan, look, they revolted on their own, which he should know is going to make him look like a weak leader in front of Negan. So either way, it's not going to go over with Negan.
Do you think Negan will send him back as a mole?
I don't think Negan will send him back at all. I think Negan will kill him.
No, I don't think. In the comics, Gregory's end is very memorable, and it's pretty iconic, actually. It just kind of shows one character's like stepping into this role that you didn't necessarily think, you didn't know if they were capable of or not.
Right.
And they might have Negan kill him, but Negan has a moment with Gregory, where you think he kills him or tries to. So it's the possibilities are endless. But I do think he's going to rat or do something. It's Gregory.
Right.
He's going to do something he shouldn't do.
He's going to do something shiesty. Yeah.
That Gregory. But yeah, so season 7, it had its good points. It just was slow in delivering those.
High hopes for season 8.
Very.
Try to be optimistic.
I want my TV
folks.
to break due to its
I
awesomeness.
want my mind to melt and my TV to break.
And I like Scott Gimple now. Anytime I'm talking about his writing, don't think I'm saying I want him off the show. No, he's given us some great stuff. I just think he needs to, as a showrunner, try to make himself a little less predictable, a less Walking Dead cliche. Like, I'm okay with the finale if someone doesn't die if you do it right. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be, okay, every finale and premiere we have to kill off one big character, because that's the format. Beginning, the premiere, mid-season finale, and finale, somebody big has to die. And that's that. It's like, it doesn't have to be that way. Just give me something I don't see coming. I don't know. You know what I mean?
Right.
All right. Well, season 7. Let's do this before we get to the comments section. Let's rate this season, starting with Matt. I know.
Always start with me.
Because we can only go up from there.
That's funny. That's really well said. I'm going to say a 6.5 for the season.
Oh, that's a lot better than I thought you were going to give it.
No, I mean, because
I'm not. That's right around where I'm going.
Oh, really? Well, let's go down to a 6 then. No, I'm just kidding. 6.5. But just only because we've been introduced to some new characters. A lot of good stuff has happened this season, but it has been a march.
Very slow
process. Like literally as slow as a march can be.
No doubt. They're dragging to war.
Jeez.
JP, what would you rate this season?
Yeah, I'm right around a 6 as well.
Okay, I thought you were going to come up with like an 8 or 9.
You know what? I'm going to throw a 6 on there too.
Oh, 666. All right.
Oh, Lord.
That is fitting. No, but seriously, for the zombie apocalypse.
Seriously, oh, Lord.
Oh, Lord.
But no, like I just, again, I mean, great. I still love the show, but I mean, it just was a slow season.
Yeah,
I feel like things could have been done a little bit better.
Not as slow as it's been in the past.
Right.
But a slow season nonetheless.
Right. I mean, just you come off of something, and again, and you got some people, and I do defend it. Yes, if you go back and listen, you've heard Matt and I argue about the build up of me defending it, going, no, they're building up to something awesome, I'm telling you, and then, well, how long do we have to build up, though? I mean,
And, I wonder if, like, binge watching this, if it would make it a little better, because we're not, like, anticipating week to week. When is this good stuff going to get here? I know someone who, like,
interesting,
who, DVR'd the whole season and just watched it in, like, 2 days and was it was really good.
And there's people that do it on Netflix, too.
That's what I was going to say. When it comes out on Netflix, I'll get with a person. HP, if you know someone that does watch it on DVR or Netflix, get with them and ask them, and let's compile that by the time the next season rolls around and see how different it was for people. Because you're right, back to back, it might have been a great season.
Yeah,
I didn't think about that.
It's a good.
Just a friend of mine at work was like, I finally, like over the last 2 days, watched the whole kit and caboodle, and it was really good. And I was like, are we watching the same show?
Is this the girl that came with her prom dress on, Michaela?
No, she doesn't watch these kind of shows. Her mama would not allow that.
Oh, no.
But,
she let her go to prom and look like some kind of harlot. But
no, don't say that. It was the thing with the girls this season. They're showing just a little bit of midriff above the belly button, but it's just
the Taylor Swift thing.
Yeah. It was really classy, really elegant. It swooped down at the bottom. It was a great gown.
I bet their grandmothers didn't think so.
Oh gosh, she's got a sweet granny too.
How old is she though?
She's a senior, so 17
You keep
or
saying
18.
that's so funny. You avoid the age. How old is she? She's a senior.
You know what? Let's stop talking about 17-year-old girls' midriffs and move forward with the show.
She takes AP classes, so she's almost like a college student.
Oh.
To the comment section, starting with you, Matt.
Oh, man. I really want to. Okay. I'm sorry. Just give me a second. That's good. Elisa Jet. Hello, Elise. That's right. We've discussed that's how you pronounce it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. If you do a survival in the zombie apocalypse, I think I would eventually go to a chicken farm. Fresh eggs, easy to raise, and fresh meat, and good distractions to walkers if needed.
That's brilliant. Yeah, I have never thought about that. Chicken stuff.
Wouldn't all the clucking draw them in?
I think that's what she's saying. At some point, it would be a good distraction. But
hey, you know what you could? No. You know what you could do? Just put them in something thick, though. I mean, like some thick, wooden, pins. You know what I mean? Keep them. You could do things to I mean, because you got to think.
To really soundproof that sucker, though.
Because the thing about clucking, though, is, I mean, they don't cluck like crazy, no more than people would be outside talking.
You're clucking crazy, Justin. I don't care what you say.
You know what I'm saying? Though, at the prison, people were outside talking all the time. I mean, no more than people talking. I mean, if that's the case, then you've got to consider wherever you're at probably isn't the best place to be.
True.
If a couple of chickens clucking is drawing in droves of walkers, because then that means you must be going outside doing this.
Then we would be the whisperers. So yeah.
Oh, but yeah, that's brilliant. I haven't thought about that, and we're doing that next podcast.
What will we do?
What we would do in the zombie apocalypse. Then I'm excited for the one after that. JP is going to educate us real quick. JP, tell them what the next would be.
We're going to be comparing Cortez's conquest of the Aztecs to All Out War, because there are a lot more parallels than you might think.
So get ready to learn.
I know when you first
JP.
told me that, but I was like, oh god, it sounds like college, like one of those AP courses. But I mean, I looked
This
up a
is
little
an
bit.
interesting
You're right.
way to learn.
Yeah,
it's
no,
an
seriously.
interesting way for people to learn to use something that they may consider boring, but use something they really like
Right.
as a way to memorize.
And I'll
this
go
stuff.
ahead and cite my sources. I was watching the Joe Rogan podcast, and he had Graham Hancock, who's a very like alternative. Sort
How
of
are you
archaeologist.
watching a podcast?
It's
People are watching
there's a-
our podcast, and we have pictures, and they watch it.
You know what? I'm sorry.
There's a video.
Go on, I
component. All the
apologize.
Joe Rogan
How dare
podcasts have there's video. But anyway, it was really, really eye opening. The whole time he's talking, I was just like, man, this sounds a lot like All Out War.
Huh. I'm looking forward to it.
Me too.
It's gonna be great. And
JP
after that, we were talking about doing some sort of broader like geek cast and just free balling about.
This summer's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
Oh
The
yeah,
next
we're
one
gonna
was- I'm
definitely
so
do some
excited.
more free range podcasts because most time I have to keep JP and Matt on task with The Walking Dead.
Hello.
This time I will be turning them loose and jumping in the pit with them and just talking about completely random stuff.
Scary place. I don't know if you want to be there.
We're just gonna make a list of stuff we're geeking out on this week, kind of like a Geekly Weekly report.
Whoa,
Geekly Weekly.
Love it.
If that's not taken, there you go. Is that a taken?
Or should it be
We'll find
weekly,
out.
geekly? What
I like
order-
Geekly
Either way,
Weekly.
let's go ahead and copyright both of them.
I like Geekly Weekly. It's just like, hey, here's your, it's Geekly Weekly.
Weekly.
Just what we're geeking out on.
Okay,
like it.
I like that. Geekly Weekly.
Let us know what you think.
JP, next comment.
Marcy, I thought the soundtrack in the finale was especially good. Winky.
Winky faces. It's
Yeah.
true. The one
It's
thing
creepier that he does the winky face.
I will say that the one thing that The Walking Dead gets consistently right is the music.
Oh, yeah, they do great music.
Wonderful music.
All right, Tissa, I hope I said that right, says, what made this season bad, in my opinion, is the fact that there weren't that tight, wasn't that tight group surviving, just a lot of episodes with a few people at random new places. The episodes with my man Jeff Dean Morgan, Jeff Dean Morgan, were all great, by the way. Oh, and we've said that throughout. You know, if Negan was on screen, it was great.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
aside from that, it just was kind of,
It's true. Hey, the Bushima Show. Thanks very much for the shout out. You brought a big smile to my face. And Asma, I don't know, would also love it when she hears it. I really hope we're saying that right. That's
we're trying.
You guys are great. I have a question, though. Do you think the Walking Dead TV show is going to eventually come to an end? If yes, at what season would that be? If you know, of course. With best regards from Tunisia. Such
Very
a
interesting
well-worded
question.
Like,
I know.
That was really like a letter. It's like I just opened a letter from a pen pal.
And we have went international, guys. International.
We are international.
That's excellent.
Officially.
That is excellent.
But yeah, what do you think? When do you think the show will end?
When it stops getting views. I mean,
yeah.
you know, I don't. It's not like Game of Thrones. You have like Sons of Anarchy, Game of Thrones, even Lost. As much as people will down Lost, because yes, I'm going back watching it again. It is kind of all over the place, but they had an end in sight. Like they knew when they were going to end it. They were like, "We're ending at season 6."
Breaking Bad. They knew when that was
Breaking
gonna
Bad.
end.
Some shows they're telling you a story, and that's all they want to do. When they reach the end of the story, they know when it's time to kill it.
And we talked about that earlier.
I feel like The Walking Dead is going to go because they said, I saw something, and it might be a bit extreme, but they had said it would take like 20 seasons to catch up to the comics right now.
Yeah.
So I feel like they'll go as long as people will keep watching it or until the actors grow tired of being in it.
Or Chandler Riggs looks to be like 30 years old and he's still playing a 15-year-old.
Come on, Dad.
That's so funny.
Let me go hang out with you.
Teach me to shave, Dad.
I'm
He's got, like, a big
34.
beard.
It's like,
That's so funny.
Carl, we've only been in the apocalypse 3 years.
I mean, I'm 14, Dad.
You're 13. So yeah, probably as long as people will watch it.
Yeah, that's true. He'll be, and Judith will be like still a baby, but she'll actually be like 20 years old.
Be just like The Simpsons.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I don't know. You can't keep people. I mean,
Kids
it's
just
anime.
never
Yeah,
age.
you know what you understand where the fault in that logic is.
There's no fault in it.
But yeah, I don't know. I think that they'll go as long as people keep watching it. I like this. I would hope they wouldn't drag it out. They would be
Yeah, I'd hope
smart
that, but I
enough
have a
to
feeling it's gonna
know,
happen.
like, hey, it's dull. Let's go ahead and end it.
Money, bro.
Absolutely. Christian Anthus.
Looking
Long-time
forward to
listeners.
seeing Jesus in his Samaria get up on screen.
Samurai. I think that's what he meant
Whoops.
anyways.
Well, I thought it was something I'm missing from the comics.
In the show, they're going to change it up. Instead of dressing up like a samurai, he's going to dress up like a
Samaritan.
Somalian pirate.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's really cool.
So he's just going to
Samaritan.
get some dirty clothes and
All
rip
right.
them up.
Looking forward to seeing Jesus.
Look
in
at
his-
me, Rick. Look at me. I am the
Good
captain
Samaritan.
now.
Oh man! So in his samurai get up on screen.
Yeah, that'll be
That
really
makes
cool. If
much
they
more
get to that
sense.
point, you got to remember that Jesus was so much more badass. Than,
I've been racking my mind on this because I worked on these last weekend or this past weekend because it helps me get through. You know, I have to rush it today, but I've been reading that since last week, and I was like, Samaria get up. What is that? Justin and JP will explain that to me. So I'm glad you still did, but turns out I'm an idiot.
JP, Jeep.
Oh boy, guys, I'm a chick, by the way. Is this the second week?
Wait,
in
are
a
you
row?
saying that from Jeep's point of view?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, you're
But
reading.
didn't she tell us that?
No,
last
we
week?
just read it last week, and now we're reading it for the audience for the first time.
Yeah,
Oh,
we just
for
found
real?
out. Yeah, we just found out about it.
Oh,
So sorry, Jeep, for assuming your gender.
yeah.
How terrible.
Anyway, another callback to a season I caught was Maggie and Sasha sitting on the log. It totally goes back to season 5, right before Aaron showed up, when they first really became friends with each other.
Now kiss.
What kind of hell do you think Gregory is going to catch when he shows up at the sanctuary now that Simon saw Maggie and the Hilltop people at Alexandria? I know it was Dwight that left that message on the carving, but when the hell did he find the time to write it? I'm thinking maybe like as they were leaving the sanctuary. Anyway,
Somewhere between.
somewhere between bullets flying everywhere, a tiger chewing guys up, and zombie Sasha biting people, he found time to write, I didn't know on a carving?
That's true.
Dang, I wish I could multitask like that. And finally, I can't get out of a comment without trolling Judith. Who the heck had time to take Judith to the hilltop? The kid was finally actually playing with a toy and stood up on her own. The first time she moved in her life. And they whisk her away and put her to bed.
JP does not get the long comments anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't
ever.
know what just happened.
Yeah. But that's the question, though. What do you think he was saying he didn't know? He didn't know Sasha was dead. He didn't know that Negan had aligned himself with the garbage people, or he didn't know that, what else was the other one? It was 3 of them I had in my head. Like, what was it he was saying didn't know?
I think it definitely refers to the double cross of the
Or just
trash
kind of it was
label.
summarizing
Yeah, and I
everything.
forgot that
Like,
he
I
does
didn't
the
know that
statues. I don't know why I
everything was
forgot
going to
that.
go like that.
They didn't flip the statue over. On one side it says, I didn't know, and on the back of it has like 4 paragraphs, very tiny
I didn't know that
writing.
Negan's.
Right.
Yeah, it's like really small.
Ever since I was a young child, I had no idea. And it's okay. Well, he didn't know.
Krusty21 says, Rick sure made a bad judgment call with those garbage pail people. And how many times does he have to get pushed off a ledge by that beanpole Jadis?
She did. She was really
True
good
that.
at the whole kicking people off of a ledge.
1 minute she wants to lay with him, the next minute she's shooting him in the hip and
That
throwing him
sounds-
down a hill.
That sounds like most of the women I know. Joe W. says, I'm calling it right now. Morgan will die in episode 4, 36 minutes in. Is anyone writing that down? Because I want to
I'll hold on to that.
Hold on to that, Joe. 36 minutes into episode 4. My favorite episode was the Carl and Negan episode, and my least favorite was the Oceanside episode. Parentheses JP.
Because that was JP's favorite.
guy- got it out for me.
Oh, but wait, he'll get to you in a second. And my favorite moment was in the first episode at the end when it zoomed in on Abraham and Glenn while Negan was talking. And if you pick one of my comments, let JP read it because it's awesome the way he reads comments. I told you he comes back around.
Okay,
Oh, man,
we'll
we
make sure
totally
he
do-
every time we see Joe W, we'll just make sure that's a sign to JP.
I can reread it.
No,
I'm
absolutely
calling
no.
it right
and you
now.
keep a
All right.
thesaurus with you when you're doing it.
All right, JP, you're
yeah, there
reading
you go.
KK
I was
Bacon.
like, yeah.
KK Bacon, that's more your speed.
This is a long one, so go ahead.
This is the kind of comments you'll read from now on.
I think we're going to see a handicap Rick here soon.
I hope they don't cut the hand off. Like why? Why do we want to see Rick with one hand? I just don't.
Rick's hand or we riot.
Right. Then they would do it. Mm-hmm. Make a meme.
Hashtag.
I mean, it would be cool. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying we've seen a one-handed guy kicking ass with Merle. I mean, the excitement that would bring of one-handed Rick kicking ass to me is just kind of old news. But that's just me. It might be cool. Who knows? Alyssa Jett says, I love Michonne and Rick, but I really love Michonne and Carl. I love the 3 of them, but I never cared for Carol until Michonne came into the picture. I saw her and Rick from the moment she appeared on screen. On another note, what if Jadis and her group do become Whisperers, and how will they make walkers fresh enough to hide around? I have wondered how they will do it since the walkers are pretty much bones now. You wouldn't notice some rather plump and fresh-looking walkers in a crowd of walking bones. I felt that the ending of season 7 was almost like Maggie giving a eulogy for Glenn. Okay, it made me cry. Number one, I think when a herd of zombies show up, you don't really get that specific. You just see a crowd of walking dead bodies and you go the other way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the Whisperers weren't really on the front lines either. They were amidst a crowd of zombies. So you wouldn't see past. I mean, it would be. If you were sitting up top, maybe with binoculars looking at the group, you may be able to pick them out. But I mean, as far as an advancing group of hundreds and thousands of walkers and a couple of Whisperers scattered throughout, I really just feel like you'd be distracted by the oncoming threat to really get into the specifics. You'd kind of get tunnel vision. You'd be like, shit, walkers, got to go.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I don't know. You never know. I mean, it could be. That might be how they spot the whisperers, you know. Rick's on top, and he's like, what the hell? Or Daryl, you know, whichever. And finally, Matt with Michonne.
Michonne Grimes says, no one has said anything about Rick not wearing his wedding ring anymore since
Don't you
he's
hate
with
that?
Michonne.
When your R's and W's get mixed up. Mine do it all the
Elmer
time.
Fudd thing going on. I love them so much together. And even her relationship with Carl. Rick and Carl both took for running to make sure she was took for Michonne to make sure she was okay. Also, Shiva is the most trained tiger in the history of tigers. LOL. When Carol and Ezekiel...
Do the laugh. There you go.
Probably wasn't nearly
Realism,
genuine.
Matt.
Yeah, sorry.
Realism. That's
Is that
perfect.
better? Okay, thank you. When Carol and Ezekiel were walking after Ezekiel was talking to Morgan, all I could think was, it's the king and his queen. Oh. Question. Do you think now that Eugene knows that Rick's group is fighting back, he will change his mind about being Negan? And he will at least try to work from the inside?
I think at some point he's definitely going to try to make up for betraying them, more or less.
I hope he does. And I hope it doesn't end with him like giving up his life.
Sacrificing himself. Because it's just predictable, man.
Yep.
Like, what's unpredictable is for them to completely forgive him, bring him back. You know, they did it with
Just saying.
Carol, yes, but Carol wasn't on the level that they were. Carol...
At this point, he's starting to reach a point of no return kind of thing.
Yeah,
Like,
so
Carol
he's going
at
to have to
least
turn
didn't-
around quick
Right.
now. Carol didn't side with an enemy faction. But, it's a good point. I don't know. I don't know.
We shall see.
We shall see. So that pretty much wraps it up for that one. Man, this one went a little long. but I
Season
guess it
7
wasn't
in the
season
can. Well,
7.
yeah, we had to.
That's 2 seasons we've been with you guys, and we love you so
Oh, my
much,
God,
and we
was
thank
it?
you so much for the return. Some people that I haven't seen commenting in a while, just know that when you don't comment, we do miss you.
It's true. We noticed.
We know you by name. We know lots of you by name.
We're like
We
a
know where
small
you live.
university. If you don't attend class, we will know.
We take notice. Oh, yeah, absolutely. So we thank y'all so much. I had to throw out the Southern thing
That
there
was
for a
good.
second.
That was good.
Want to
Stay
thank
tuned.
everyone for staying with us and continuing to come back and
So
listen.
much more coming in.
Oh, yeah.
Lots
We
of
love
cool
you guys
stuff.
We
so
got to give
much.
away that Negan bat.
We've got a
pretty soon.
Negan bat. Yep, we've given away one. We've time for another. This one's actually foam, so I mean, I wouldn't advise it, but you could probably hit a few people with
Oh,
it
yeah,
and
absolutely.
only escape with minor assault charges. No medical bills to have to pay, so that's
Right.
a good thing. But we've got a Negan bat to give away. We need to figure out a cool way to do that. And we just thank you for coming back. Next week, we'll talk about how we would survive the zombie apocalypse. And then the week after that, we're drawing parallels to Cortez and Negan.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Well,
Actually, it would be
Montezuma.
Cortez would be Rick. And Montezuma would be Negan. Okay, so
And
next week.
When are we going to start the Weekly
got-
Geekly? Are
The
we
week
going to
after
do that?
that?
Like,
Let's do that after that because I
probably
feel
start
like
at the
that's
beginning of
gonna,
May.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's going to take a lot of research on your part. So we'll do that like starting
He
in
doesn't
May.
know us very well.
Starting in May, we'll do the Weekly Geekly.
Okay. I
Awesome.
like it.
The Weekly
because
Geekly.
we have to do it weekly if it's the Weekly Geekly once
That
a
is
week.
true. That would be
That'll
very
hold us
confusing if
over
we
because
didn't.
I mean, doing the Walking Dead what ifs. If you guys like them and you want us to do more, we can definitely do more.
At this point, I feel like we've covered so
Right,
much on
it's
what
just
would you
know.
do if.
I mean, it's what you want, but we can do the Weekly Geekly to kind of take a break from the Walking Dead, and you can get to know us another.
We could
Let's hear
maybe
about
make
that,
that
yeah.
like a Wednesday podcast.
Why
Wednesday's
don't you
comic
calm-
book
why don't
day.
you calm
Hey,
yourself
yeah,
down?
well, you know what? You
Oh
can
my
do Weekly
goodness.
Geekly on Monday and do Wednesday What If on Wednesday. Walking Dead
Now.
Wednesday.
So
Walking
much
Dead, What If.
content coming. Oh my
And
god!
you're in the planet you get to see. Normally, I would cut off the mic and be like, "This is behind the scenes stuff," but who cares? Now you're in the planning phase. You're
That's
a part
exciting.
of it. So,
Yeah.
So What If Wednesday and Weekly Geekly.
Very excited voice I just heard. I haven't heard you woo like that.
I know.
All right.
Never saw you as a woo girl.
It doesn't happen often, but you guys bring it out of me in a serious way.
All right. So
Yeah, I
with
feel like
that,
he said it really nicely. I feel like if we let him keep going, it'll turn into something really weird.
Yeah, he's going to end up on top of you. So let's stop this before it wraps up.
Oh no, you meant literally. Okay.
Literally, like
Sorry.
he's going to
Yeah.
mount you.
Oh yeah. I got it now. Oh, I
Kinda
got
like-
it.
yeah, he's-
Yeah, I got you.
Slide over, man.
I got it. Oh no, JP, what are you doing?
Don't
Stop.
go anywhere.
Stop. What are you doing?
Don't
Get off
go
of me.
anywhere.
Stop it.
Fingers
That
aren't meant to
shirt
go
looks
there.
way-
Where are your hands? Where are your hands?
I think you'd be a lot more comfortable with those buttons undone.
Well, I'm not. Actually, okay, no, the air's coming to that.
All right,
should
this
feel
is
nice.
Yeah,
getting
I
really
told you.
uncomfortable.
Wow,
I'm going to
it's
wrap
good.
this
My
up.
chest
I'm
hair.
Justin.
I'm
just
mad.
relax. JP.
Yeah.